In today's session, I want to familiarize you with the course and the tabs that are on the right hand side so everyone in the class has the same information and everyone knows how to find the materials that they need for the course. The first page that you arrive at is the announcements page, and on the announcements page, for this initial announcement, it's just the general announcement, but I will change this up from time to time. But today it reads that before beginning any work, please take some time to look around the course. So in this session, we're going to look around the course and just explore some things. To do any work or take any tests, you must go through the installation wizard. So if you're working on these items at your home, you must go through this installation wizard and install the necessary plugins. To summarize, the second bullet point basically says that we can find the instructor information, the syllabus, and all the different policies under this first course information tab. The third bullet point says whenever you're in doubt, you want to contact me, your instructor, and it's best to pay me an office visit. I'm in office 752. And this semester is going to be a full one, so we don't want ourselves to get behind. We can check our progress in the grade book section, which we'll discuss in just one moment. So let's take a look at the course information section. And in this section, you can find my information. I'm your instructor, Diallo Cummings. Here's my email address. Here's my work phone with the extension 1771. My office is room 752, and my office hours. You can also find the syllabus, so I'll let you look through the syllabus at your leisure. You can also find the addendum, and we'll go through the addendum because the addendum determines how your grade is figured. So once the addendum opens, it states that this is the addendum for the summer for Business Math 160. Again, here's my personal information. And here's a grading policy breakdown. We see that the homework is worth 25% of the final grade. The homework is open all semester, but I encourage you to work ahead of the schedule if possible. Whenever you find yourself having trouble, you immediately want to seek help from me, your instructor, or the Academic Success Center. The quizzes are worth 25%. Here again, the quizzes are open all semester. Each quiz can be taken up to 3 times before you take the actual test, but keep in mind that only the highest quiz grade will be counted in your final average. So it won't hurt to take the quizzes more than once. Your tests are worth 25%, and the final exam is worth 25%. The homework, quizzes, and tests are to be done at home. The only time you're required to report to the campus is for the final exam, and information on that will come later in the semester. Next, let's take a look at the course outline. We see that the very first test consists of 4 chapters, chapters 1, 2, 3, and 15, and that test is on. Our second test consists of 2 chapters, 4 and 5, and that's. Our third test consists of 2 chapters, 6 and 7. The fourth test consists of 2 chapters, 8 and 9. Fifth test only consists of 1 chapter, and it's on. The last test only consists, the last chapter test, only consists of 1 chapter, chapter 12. And then we have our cumulative final exam. In the course, we have a regular 10-point grading scale. I don't issue any incompletes. And anytime you want to withdraw from the course, it doesn't matter what part of the semester or what your grade is, I will always withdraw you with the W, never a WF. But if it's your intent to withdraw, you must communicate that to me that you wish to withdraw from the course. And that's the addendum, which is located in this course information section. The next section is the tables and forms section. And in the tables and forms section, you can find some tables and forms that are going to help you on the homework, quizzes, and the test. You can use these forms for any test, quiz, or homework. So for example, if I click on the chapter 4 document, we can see that there's 3 documents in this folder. There's a reconciliation form, there's a percentage bracket form, and a wage bracket form. And these items are in the tables and forms, and I will add to this as the semester rolls along. There's also a lecture notes section, and in the lecture notes section, these are basically some PowerPoints that I have created that may help in the course. They're here as some tutorials, supplemental type items, so if you find yourself having trouble, you may want to look through some of the PowerPoints that are in this lecture notes section. There's also a video lecture section, and if we go into the video lecture section, we can see that there's a business mathematics video lecture link. And if we click on that link, here are basically the videos that are associated with the textbook. So for example, for chapter 1, here are all the videos for chapter 1, 2, 3, and for the rest of the chapters that we cover in this particular course. Next, we see there's a do homework link. So I'm going to click on the do homework link, and I'll simply click on the first homework section. And just remember that the first homework is one great homework set, and it's inclusive of all of chapter 1. So I'll simply click on a problem. And you notice that once you click on a problem, you're given the problem, and to the right you're given the textbook. If you want to look at the textbook, I'll simply click on that, and it brings up the textbook, which is associated, the chapter is associated with the chapter of the problem, so it brings up the whole numbers. And I can search for an example, or I can print out the book. I can also ask my instructor a question. I can also print out the problem. So I'll simply put in an answer. It says, sorry, that's not correct. So I'll change my answer. I'll put in 60. Still not correct. Notice it gives me 3 attempts to get the problem right. I'll put in 1,000. Notice it tells me, gives me the correct answer, and it also gives me my answer. And I'll simply click done. From this point, I can either move to a new problem, or I can get a problem right that I once got wrong. So now I can simply enter in the correct answer. Once I enter in the correct answer, it tells me nice work, and it changes the X to a check. And that's how all of the homework problems are situated. So now I'll simply save it, and I will exit out. Our very next tab is the Take a Test tab, so I'll simply click on the Take a Test tab. And notice here are all of our test dates, which are laid out. Notice that there is a quiz before every test. There's 3 attempts at every quiz and only 1 attempt at the test. Next, I'll check the grade book. And since I only answered 1 problem, I don't have very much in my grade book. I can check my progress by this show overall score, and it gives me a score up to date. And I'll simply go back. Our very next tab is a Multimedia Library Tab, And in this section we can find lecture videos, and I also have videos posted in the lecture video section. But more importantly, in this section we can find the textbook. I'll simply click on Multimedia Textbook and find Now, and it simply gives me each section of every chapter's materials. So for example, if I wanted to look at the basics of simple interest, section 8.1, here again I'll simply click on the link and it'll bring up section 8.1. Next we have a send an email tab. If you want to send an email to myself or anyone in the class, you can use the send email tab. Once again, there's an installation wizard tab. If you're new to Course Compass, you must go through the installation wizard. And if you're not mindful to do this, once you start to actually answer a problem, it'll prompt you toward the installation wizard. And the last link on our menu is the announcements page.